What's up, everybody? Jerry with Dipping Up Trading back for another video. Tonight we're going to be talking about ticker symbol CEI or Camber Energy. Now this stock, I don't think I had posted a video on it specifically, but it was one that was on my watch list for the last couple of weeks or so. It was actually brought to my attention by Jay from Flashpoint Capital. So shout out to him for putting this in front of me. So just going to jump into some technicals, going to check the Ortex data, and also going to be giving you guys kind of a rundown of where I think this thing could head, tomorrow or even the rest of the week. But before I get started, don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button down at the bottom of this screen. Helps out the channel, helps spread it to the rest of the community, and also helps grow the channel specifically so that more people who are trying to find videos like this are able to find me a lot easier. So yeah, let's just get this thing rolling. So on the day, so Camber had it had a solid day, up 33% on the intraday, finished the intraday hours at $2.72, up 68 cents. The after hours ran for a little bit more, almost a 1.5% there respectively, and finished the after hours at $2.76, or was up 4 cents there. So real quick, let me pull this up. Overall, looks like volume was good. And yeah, volume today was 353 million. The average volume typically is 77.93 million. So we were 5 times that amount today for the intraday, which is substantial, or excuse me, for the entire trading day, which is substantial. Now that number is going to be a little bit skewed for like pre-market and also after hours, because to my knowledge, it only trades and gives numbers specifically from whatever platform you're referencing. So that number could be a little off, but it's neither here nor there. So realistically, I mean, where I think this thing could go tomorrow, honestly, I think we're either going to have some sort of correction and or some sort of consolidation to establish this as kind of like a new level of support. Reason I say that is, in terms of the long term, I'm not really seeing any major bullish or bearish divergence at this particular moment. But on the 30-minute, which is what I have pulled up right now, I'm seeing some pretty significant bearish divergence. And it pretty much started from the run-up today. So you can see how we had this run-up, and notice where the RSI is at. I mean, it basically jumped. Basically, once market opened, that RSI just spiked. And then we were basically having that RSI momentum going sideways, whereas the rest of the stock was trending up. So that's why I think we could have a little bit of a sell-off, this little gold rectangle area here. I pulled up this Fibonacci retracement. I would expect this thing, because typically on the previous corrections I've seen it anywhere from 38.2 as much as 61.8. I did like in between 38.2 and 50, and then down to 61.8. That's kind of a hypothesis of where I think this could correct to if it does get there. But if it follows the same trend, notice these squares here. If it follows the same trend, now look how close in representation these candles are to here. This obviously is on a much larger scale than what it is down here, but also the price action is twice what this is. So naturally, I feel like you would have substantially more price action with a higher number, because you're typically trading larger sums of money because you're double what it was previous. So, but yeah, so like if it follows this trend, I mean, we could see this consolidate a little bit and then potentially run up again. So that's why I have these gold lines here, because that could also be a possibility. Or best case scenario, we just continue to run. But I'd rather kind of go through those two, kind of like a worst case scenario, just based on what I'm seeing on the technical side. I just don't, with where the RSI is at, and then the MACD is just now diverged across that signal line, indicating that we're having kind of a slowdown in momentum and or potentially some sort of selling. I would anticipate this thing to potentially come down a little bit tomorrow. But hey, I've been wrong. I've been wrong before. I'm human. So, but Jumping over to Ortex real quick. So on the day, short interest change was pretty much net neutral on the day. We had 3.77 million returned versus 3.62 borrowed against, for a net borrowed change of 148,000 returned from what was previously borrowed on CEI. The current short interest of the free float is 37.1%. Cost to borrow minimum is, let's call it 0.5%. Cost to borrow max 19.04, and the cost to borrow average is 9.83. Utilization is almost maxed out at 98.14%. We had a 1% increase there. Days to cover on loan. Let me show you guys what I'm looking at with Ortex. Days to cover is up 27%. Shares on loan up 47%. Free float on loan up 47%. Estimated short interest or free float is up 183%. And then the exchange reported short interest is up 298%. Those numbers and that's just based on the last 7 days, or from 7 days ago, which is substantial. I mean, we're talking, basically a week and a half worth of trading days almost. So those numbers were substantial then. I mean, that's astronomical. It's probably some of the highest that I've seen in terms of those two numbers in particular. So, but good thing is shares on loan are going up, which means these hedge funds are continuing to increase their positions. So basically, until they cover, it's the same concept as it is with any heavily shorted stock. You stay in it until they start to cover positions, and that's when you plan on exiting. Now, you can, if you're going to day trade it, or if you're going to swing it, from week to week, you can do it that way and just, take your profits off the top and look for a position to re-enter whenever we do have a little bit of a correction or a sell-off. You could play it that way. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can play these particular heavily shorted stocks. So, just make sure you have your plan, make sure you're trading that plan and you're planning for that trade. So, but other than that, that'll wrap up this one. I'm going to be dropping a couple more here right after this one, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.